Hey guys, good evening. This is Planet Head on the Five Cs, channel of the Five Cs, playing as Robert Goldshaw. Tonight I am doing an in-between video of, if you watched my last video, it was kind of a long one. Um, I finally got blown up for the first time doing PvP after a long haul setting up that first Rifter. Um, and had a good time at it, but it took me a little bit to get out there and find a good fight. The one problem I've run into that I wasn't expecting was the ability to make more rifters quickly. So I've had to spend today kind of rectifying that problem. So I don't have another. I just literally put a new rifter into the hopper an hour ago. Um, and I want to get to a point where I'm building about 10 of them at a time so I can just do that. So, couple of things. This is kind of the in between. Hopefully, my next video will be some more of me getting blown up. Um, but a review. Just thinking about the video, I know I did a bunch of things incorrectly in the last fight. Just go ahead and do that. All I'm gonna do is play while I'm talking, so you kind of see. You'll see what I'm doing. I'll explain it when I'm done. I'm in a little thrasher here out in Malden Heath. Um, but some major things that while I was a little bit happy that I was able to warp in and get into the fight and get all of my modules up and running quickly, in the middle of it, I realized I hadn't used any of the hotkeys, which were things that I was trying to learn to use. So, the one, I think when you're fighting somebody, uh, in any game or anything, even an argument in real life, you forget your basics. So that's something that doing the way I'm playing right now with with a really basic ships to learn can get me over that. Um, I think you're always going to make mistakes. Um, I bring this up a lot, but back in the day when I used to play online poker, and especially heads up poker, I got very good at heads up poker because I stayed focused on what was going on. I used to play a lot of tournament poker, some decent amounts of live tournament poker, and had a very good win rate once I got down to the final two. I was actually over like 90%, which is part luck and part the way I used to play. Um, because uh, what I found was by the time people got to the heads up part of it, they were so tired or playing a different style of game that whenever they're forced into a heads up game, they don't know what it is. And I had played a lot of it, and I think of that very similarly with Eve. The guys who try to jump into PvP, especially one-on-one PvP, um, it's a different type of game, and the only way you can get better at it is practice. So I'm kind of trying to employ keeping myself focused. Gonna next fight I get into next video. Oh, no, I don't. This ship isn't good enough yet to take these guys on. Swing over to Weld. I will get you sooner or later once the ship gets better. Um, but I'm trying to remember where I was at with that thought. Um, the more you can, so trying to hold myself accountable to the things that I made mistakes on. I remember during the fight, and it was so brief because my ship was so bad and my skills were so bad. But I remember I was so focused on getting him locked down, which is my number one priority, and then getting my guns up and running. I never looked at my range, um, uh, and I wasn't watching my D scan. Luckily, nobody else came in, although they wouldn't have gotten in on the kill anyway. I was able to warp out, so I felt good about that. Not sure if he tried to lock me down or not, but he didn't kill my pod, even though I killed myself a little bit later. Um, But some other things I have to figure out are why I wasn't able to jump back into my skill clone right away. Maybe you're just not allowed to do that. Uh, oh, cool. Got some guys here I can try to blow up. There we go. So what I've decided to do as I'm going along here is I've pulled up a little notepad over here on the side. And I've gotten some really good suggestions on the YouTube channel uh, from different people that I don't want to forget. I want them to be set up as little goals of mine to work my way into, but I've got to be able to um, finish or at least become competent at certain things before I progress. So until I progress, I won't upgrade the ship. I may change it a little, but I'm not going to upgrade it in worth-wise. Um, so, like, I won't go into faction ammo until I'm confident that I can use that ammo to its best abilities. So I'm just making a few little notes here. Um, and I'm kind of separating out into 3 different areas of goals. And every time I go out and fly, I'll try to pick out 3, one of each of these that I want to focus on for that fight. I may mess up other things, but those 3 things, if I can come out of the fight, even though if I die, if I come out of the fight doing those things correctly, then that will make me very happy. Um, some things that I do definitely want to work on are the hotkeys, like I said, and range. Um, Future goals are faction ammo. Uh, Good buddy said might want to look into some thermodynamics, which is where you overheat your guns. I've never done that before. That is definitely a future goal in my skills. Let's go ahead and kill this guy. You're Before you berate me for doing what I'm doing right now, there is a reason for this. Having all of these guns, it is stupid, but it's the way I play. If anybody's watched my previous videos for quite a while, you would kind of understand what I'm doing. Um, but so what I'm going to do is just slowly add on. So if anybody has any ideas, somebody actually just sent me one and I haven't replied yet. Let me just look here real quick. Um, it's a really good one too. I was trying to remember. Maybe it was the thermodynamics one. It's running a little slow. We'll wait for it. Maybe that's what's been making my system run so slow is YouTube. Boy, shouldn't be running the recorder and YouTube at the same time. Because it was running just fine there a second ago, and then I pulled up YouTube to look at the comments, and okay, nice try. Cutting or rifters. Actually, it's giving some really good advice on what breachers do. Just FYI, private convo. I'm not sure you noticed. Never scrammed you. Nope, it's not that one that I was looking for. I have to look back. There was another good comment. This was actually a really helpful comment. It was talking about how people fly breachers, which I no idea. Why am I not hitting this guy? Got all my guns rolling. Am I too far away? I'm too far away. What in the world am I doing? Am I circling? Does he have me locked down? That was weird. This is what happens when you're not paying full attention when you're trying to kill some rats. Um, So, and as I get, and I literally just pulled this up a little while ago. I meant to do this earlier today. So I'm going to add in a few things here and then pick 2 or 3 things for every fight that I go into that I want to work on. And then I'll start checking them off and saying, hey, I feel comfortable with that. Let's move on to the next one. Let's go ahead. You know what? I'm going to test this. Let's go ahead and close out YouTube and see if things speed up a little bit here. One other thing that I wasn't doing was using the tactical overlay to its best abilities. Um, the I literally barely remember the fight, and that might be the one issue with doing frigate fights is they're so fast. But it's what I want to work on at the beginning. But they can be over so fast that maybe you don't have the time to work on different things. But I definitely want to work on some of the tactics. Let's actually do that in here. Actions, awareness, fitting, skills. I'm going to throw in a fourth one here for tactics. Because I know there's certain tactics that I've seen people do. One thing that I did notice are... I'm going to have to pull up YouTube again. I've been watching a few videos. This is actually a semi-decent one, although the header was not exactly what it pertained to be. But I did gain a lot of useful information from it. I was looking for PvP guides for beginners, and this video was just made. I like to do as recent as possible. I don't really care so much about how fast videos are made, but how recently they were done. This one was just done about 3 to 4 days ago, um, and it was the EVE Online Beginner's Guide to PvP. Know Your Noob. What it really turned out to be was an expert flyer flying a tier 3, tier 2 ship, knowing noobs to kill. I took it the. Oh, you know what? You guys are probably laughing at me right now. I am not watching this at all. So let's go ahead and throw some of that. We'll throw some of that in there. That's why this guy isn't dying. Maybe I should have just taken on some frigates while I was sitting around. And we'll do some nuclear there. Let's get some more guns on him. Basically just wasting ammo while I'm talking. So long story short, that video, it was different tactics that they were using to kill people. Definitely not beginner player stuff like I'm doing is really even below beginner player stuff. But what I was able to do was see how veteran players are actually able to fly their ships so well. I don't know how veteran he is, but I learned certain things like combat scan probes, how you can keep them out so people can't see them, and then bring them in quickly, um, and directional scanning first to try to limit the amount of scanning that you have to do. Looked like he liked to hunt. He was a hunter. He was a The weird part for me is called himself a ganker. And this is, while I don't do this, I don't view people as gankers who live in low sec or null sec. I view them as opportunists. I view if you are willing to be out in this area, then you are free game. I don't care if you're flying a shuttle. I don't care if you're flying a mining ship. I don't care if you're flying a carrier. You are free game. Now, it's not what I do, but I accept that risk. And so if you are taking some ships out there to go try to blow up some mining ships, in my mind, you have every right to, because this is free land. Now, if you upset the local constabulary, or whatever they call it, the people who own the NPC area, um, then that's your mistake, and they can hunt you down, but that's what you have to do. So that is one stipulation I thought of there. But that was an example, and I couldn't really pull it up there because it would have slowed me down. If you want to check it out, it was a pretty good video. Not so much what it was tagged to be, but what I learned from it. And I started watching a lot more videos like that to give me goals to add onto my list here. The second part of this video is what I'm doing right now. And I've done this in the past. My original videos that I did had me and I'm going to go back out and do it. I love taking a backpack of small items and ships, going out and blowing things up and building stuff from the scraps. Well, I was having a problem doing that where I was living because low-sec was, or at least the spots that I was going to, was either inhabited um, or there wasn't a low-sec close to me that I could get to, or null-sec. High-sec was not being very nice to me because the combat sites are so wimpy there. The best I think you can fight in the area that I was in were like other destroyers. I wasn't getting anything off of them. So what I did was I flew out to Malden Heath where I used to live, and I decided I would start hunting out here for what I used to do, and that is just kill. Let's see here. We're going to go to Clinked. I know this well. This was the first area I started off in where I lived. I love this area. It's quiet. It's simple. Um, there's places to dock up at, a lot of stations. You have to be careful. I actually got chased earlier by a guy in two Praxi, I don't know what you would call it, who were trying to kill me. Didn't, because I've been doing this for a little while. But and they were gate camping a gate. But what I like to do is accumulate goods out here, all sorts of stuff by killing rats and either using them to upgrade my thrasher. That's why I have so many different pieces of junk on here. I don't have the best. I only outfit with let's see here, asteroid. Ooh, we got a lot of asteroid belts and Clinked. I forgot about Clinked. And so I basically just slowly fit out my ship with things that I get off of ships out here. You can also get a little lucky, especially when you're playing at the low levels I am. And if there was a PvP fight earlier and the guys have exited but left stuff lying around, I picked up some decent equipment just from wrecks. But you have to be careful with that, but it's being totally scavenging. So this is how I had to reset my goals. For one day, it pushed it back for one day. I really wanted to build 10 rifters yesterday, but I had to figure out a way to get minerals and things. Now, I could have gone and bought them. I understand that. It would have taken me 5 seconds. But that is, for me, not enjoying the game and learning. Because by doing all of this, I am, I can work on some of my PvP skills while I'm actually doing this as well, like using my hotkeys. So those are the updates right now. Other than that, not a whole lot. Hopefully tomorrow I will have a new set of videos where I get killed a couple of times. All depends on, I do have I do help out a friend of mine who had some strokes that I'll be taking to the store tomorrow, and then I'll be going to work for a little bit. But I should be playing a lot in the morning, so hopefully that Rifter will be up and running, and I'll have a good video out for that. And as the week goes along, I'll build a lot more ships. I want to upgrade the Rifter with some armor deflection. See how that works out rather than going with the armor plates. I think I talked about that in the last video. And last but not least, I might as well throw in, I'm just skilling basically right now, so let's take a quick look and see where we're at with our skills. Because I can do a quick date. So I got the infomorph, so that's good. Got the biology if I want to use some drugs, that's good. Ooh, yeah, that is a... I'm going to put this, even though I have the biology part of it, that's what I'll do. Put the skill in there and overheating. So when I learn a skill, I will go ahead and also put what I want to use that skill for, what I'm keeping an eye on for. So let's see here. Anything in engineering or navigation that I can upgrade that would help me. Energy grid, power grid, weapons upgrades. That would lower my CPU, which might help. That would help with my gyro stabilizers and getting more of them on there. So we're going to throw that in here. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's what it does. Now again, I'm trying to keep my skill boost under 24 hours, just as my initial plan. What do we got going on here? What's going on? Did we come in? No. Okay. And then anything under gunnery that might be helpful. I got controlled burst. Don't really need that just yet. Sharpshooter. What is sharpshooter? Optimal range. So we could do a sharpshooter or projectile turrets. Surgical strike. 3% bonus to damage. We're going to do the surgical strike. So I'm going to get 3% bonus there. And then another 2 hours. Another surgical strike. So that's 6% bonus. 6.1%. So that'll bump me up to about 10 hours there. And let's throw another trajectory analysis on there. Why not? So we got some bonuses, definite bonuses going on for that. So next video, I will wait for those skills to go through, or most of them at least, and then pull up the original Rifter Fit, and we'll take a look at it, see where we're at. But other than that, I'm going to keep flying around here, accumulating some stuff that I can melt down and build into some more ships to get blown up in. If you have any ideas or things you want to see me mess around with in the future, I'm just going to start making a list here, start checking it twice, so I can die 5 times. But alrighty, that's about it for tonight. You guys fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however you want, and stay alive. Have a good one. Bye-bye.